Hello everyone. So what I am going to share in this video are some very effective techniques that have helped me in the past to get an interview call from the companies that I really wanted to work with. And I'm so grateful that these techniques have worked out well for me and I am working in one of those companies today. So when I reveal these techniques, you would realize how profoundly simple these techniques are, yet we are not making use of them at all. In the early days of my career, just like many of us, I had this false belief that if I see a job opening that closely aligns with my skill set, all I need to do is to send the resume and bang, the company will give me a call back in the next second. I'm not denying the fact that there's a 1% chance that this may still happen to some of you. Like if your profile is exceptional or your job domain is too unique and the talent pool applying for jobs in your domain is not very saturated. But if you don't belong to these categories and still think that just by uploading your resume and hitting the apply job in the job portal would do the trick, then my dear friend, please think again because you may be losing out on very big opportunities by not trying enough. The job market around us is getting competitive day by day, and you must sell yourself as much as you can to get attention from the recruiters out there. I'm pretty confident that 99% of us are not applying for jobs in the right way, and then we eventually blame either on ourselves or on the company for not getting a response for our application. The techniques that I am going to share will massively increase your chances of getting a response for your job application. You will transform from being a normal applicant to what I call a power applicant. I'll break down the whole process of this power application into 3 easy steps, more like a checklist so that you can tick off whenever you successfully complete each of these steps. Step 1 is to self-assess how closely your current skill sets fit to the job position, because the chances of getting a response for your job application is heavily dependent on this factor, right? For this, you must read the job description multiple times and understand what the company actually expects from the person applying for that job position. In a job description, there will be requirements and responsibilities section. And if you want to take it to the next level, you should copy the requirements and responsibilities over to an Excel sheet and start scoring yourself on how well your current skill sets cater to each of these requirements on a scale of 1 to 5, where 5 being the best fit and 1 being the least fit. If, let's say, your total score comes below 65%, the chances of getting a callback may be slim, but that does not mean that you should not apply for the role. If you're really passionate about working in that role, I think you should go ahead and apply. We have nothing to lose, right? Along with the fitment for the role, I suggest you to research on 2 other things. One is about the company. If you are not applying for a well-known or popular company, you may need to do an online research about the company. What business do they do? What products do they sell? How do they sell it? And what do people generally talk about the company, both customers and the employees? This will give us a sense about the stability of the company. The second thing that you may need to do a research is about the role itself. Some roles may be project based, meaning the company will open up a temporary role for a certain period of time. And even though the company would still call it a full-time role, what will happen is that once you complete the tenure allocated for that job role, you may be forced to switch to another role within that company. This may be more harm than good to your career, right? Another aspect of the job role is that are you seeing a clear promotion path for the role you are applying for? This just means that you need to ensure that you are seeing yourself properly fit into a senior version of this role in the next 3 to 5 years. You just need to ensure that this is what you wanted to do. When you complete all these things, step 1 is over. What's next? Apply for the job? Not yet. Maybe you have scored a 90 or even 99 out of 100 in your profile to job fitment exercise. And you are too excited right now thinking that this job role has been opened just for me and I'm just one click away from the talent recruiter calling me and saying, oh, where were you all this time? We were looking exactly for you. I hope that happens. But do you realize one thing? The fact that this job role exactly fits to your profile is something that only you have discovered. Now, what does it take for the talent recruiter to discover the same? For that to happen, your resume should speak that on your behalf to the talent recruiter. Now, this is the place where most of us miserably fail in the job application process. We know that we are a perfect fit for the role, but least do we bother to check whether what's in our mind is reflected properly in the resume or not. So please invest some time in editing your resume and ensure you have a very customized resume for each job position that you apply for. Make sure that the skill terminologies in your resume match exactly with the job description. And above everything, make sure that your resume is short and sweet. A one-pager resume would be beautiful, but if that is not possible, no more than 1.5 pages, please. I personally don't suggest someone else writing your resume, whether it be your friends, family, or a paid writer for that matter, because I feel that your resume should read exactly the way you speak. But that's just my opinion. If you feel the need to get that written by someone else, feel free to do so. But whoever writes it, the most important thing is that you must get your resume draft reviewed by an extra pair of eyes. This could ideally be someone who doesn't have the knowledge about your job role or the domain. And this person should confirm to you whether what you're trying to communicate to the talent recruiter is properly reflected in your resume or not. Please invest some time in this exercise. Ignoring this is the biggest mistake many of us tend to do. So there you go. You are now going to apply to your dream job with a perfect resume. You may add a cover letter if you wish to do so. Some companies do expect cover letter as part of the application process. Honestly, I feel it is of not much use to add cover letter as a separate document along with the resume, because I don't know how much a talent recruiter would bother to open and read it. But that does not mean that cover letter is not important. Cover letter is important and adds an extra voice to your application. But I feel that that voice can come as part of your personal messaging to the recruiter, which we will discuss in a bit. Now you did the introspection, you did the resume, you did the cover letter, you applied for the job. Have you done the due diligence? I'm sorry, my friend, you are not done yet. If you have applied for the job in only one portal, that is not enough. You have to open a new browser tab, do a Google search on where else the same job ad has been posted. Let's say if you applied on LinkedIn right now, then you need to go to their company website and find their careers page and see whether the same job ad has been posted there. Apply there too. If the same job ad has been posted on Glassdoor Jobs or any other job portal like Naukri or Monster, apply there too. Let's make sure that we don't leave any stone unturned. Companies do post the same job ad in multiple places and we have no idea which one they give more attention to. So thumb rule, if a job portal has your job ad, that job portal will have your job application too. So what's step 3? Wait to hear back from the company? No. After you have applied for the job, you need to drop a note to the talent recruiter handling your specific job opening. So in order to do so, you need to understand who exactly the talent recruiter who's handling your job opening, right? If you have applied through LinkedIn, LinkedIn will likely have that information on who exactly handles your job opening. But if not, just drop a LinkedIn message to someone else from that company's HR team. So if you want to message someone on LinkedIn, that someone needs to be in your connection list. So try sending out a connection request to the person first and mention you have asked shortly in the connection request message, because that connection request message has a max word limit. If they are not accepting your connection or not responding to you at all, then the only other way is to subscribe to LinkedIn Premium, where you have this thing called in-mail credits, using which you can message to someone outside of your connection. Yes, it comes with a price, but trust me, it's worth the investment. What if nobody responded to you over LinkedIn? That's okay. We have a plan C now. Try finding the email address of the talent recruiter by doing a Google search of the talent recruiter's name and the company name and see if any website has their official email address. I stress official email address, not the personal one. I think some websites like Rocket Reach does store this information, so you can give it a try. If that didn't work, then go back to the company career page. There will either be a contact form or a generic career email address. send your message to that email address. If that is not enough, if you're crazy like me, then do what I used to do. If I know the talent recruiter's name, let's say it is Manish Singh and the company website is blah.com, I would just try sending an email to manish.singh@blah.com or msingh@blah.com. There's a 60% chance that one of these email address is the correct one. Also, there are tools online that will help you to verify whether an email address is legit or not. So try that option as well. Just don't give up until you ensure that you have reached to your talent recruiter and made them aware that you are genuinely interested in the job role. Okay, friends, now moving on to the final part of our Power Application process. You now have the talent recruiter's email address. And what you're going to do now is something called cold messaging, which means you are messaging to someone that you don't know. Don't worry, you just need to keep these 5 things in mind. Number 1, as always, keep your message short and sweet. From posts to tweets, from videos to reels, everyone's attention span is dangerously limited. So you must keep it short. Number 2, make your subject line catchy and stand out from the rest. How do I do that? Very simple. Imagine how people would normally put a subject line for a job application and just don't follow that style. That's it. One another tip for the subject line is that you can go to YouTube and see how the content creators come up with the video titles that hook your attention. The psychology behind both is the same, right? It's a clickbait and you want them to open it. In case of the subject line, let's say, for example, if you're applying for the position of a software developer, instead of putting as application for software developer, which is what most applicants would do, just try something like a seasoned software developer is awaiting your screening. I just made that up, but you get the idea, right? Don't shy away from trying out something different and out of the box. There's no good or bad, but rest assured, anything out of the box will get attention. Number 3, establish a connect with your recruiter. First of all, avoid addressing the talent recruiter as sir or madam. Just put hi and then their first name. That should do. Or if you don't know the name of the talent recruiter because you are sending an email to the generic career email address from the website, as I mentioned before, just address them as Dear Hiring Manager. That will be safe. Now, your email message should quench the reader's thirst for what's in it for me. Meaning, you should never start your email by saying, I want to apply for this job or I want you to review my application. Rather, try to establish a good connection with the talent recruiter with a greeting like pleased to meet you, and then point out something that you have learned about the talent recruiter from LinkedIn or their company. Let's say, for example, the talent recruiter recently published a post in LinkedIn. Say how you felt about it. Or you learned from somewhere that their company launched a new product. Give your 2 cents about it. Now, if you're a person who doesn't believe in building connections that way, that's okay. Your opening line can straight away convey that you decided to drop a personal note because you found your job profile matching closely to this job opening, and give the link to that job opening there as well. So what you're effectively doing here is that you are impressing upon them that you are not mass emailing to multiple companies, but have done a good research before messaging to the recruiter, and considering your application would be a win-win for both you and the recruiter. So number 4 in cold messaging, the second paragraph or part of your email should have a killer pitch of why you think you are fit for this job role. Again, this should be 1 or maximum 2 lines max. The shorter, the better. Number 5, the closure part of the email, you should have a clear call to action. What do you want the recruiter to do? You want them to review your application and get back to you with the outcome if it is a yes or a no. So do share your phone number if needed and request them to get back to you with the outcome. Whether they contact you or not is not your problem. You are just placing that ask to them in a very direct and professional manner. So let me quickly show you one of the cold messages that I sent to a talent recruiter when I was searching for a job back in 2020. This is not the perfect one because when I look back at this 5 years down the line, I feel that I would have done a better job, but this would at least be a start for you to refer to it and add your creativity to make a better email. So I just addressed the talent recruiter by her first name. trying to establish a connection by telling pleased to meet you. I understand I must not waste the time of a busy sourcing recruiter. So let me cut to my point right away. Now, this opening line would impress upon her that I value her time. Now I'm going straight to my ask. I found you via LinkedIn and would request you to help take a look at my application for the role of product manager. And I'm adding the link to that job opening here for her to quickly access it. Now, the second paragraph is I shortly explain why I think I'm a fit for the role. I'm talking about my overall IT experience, the relevant domain experience, what I do in my current job. But I'm ending this paragraph by saying, however, when I reach out to a recruitment expert like you, I'm sure you will have the best judgment and have my complete faith in it. The closure part of the email is the call to action, as I mentioned. I'm giving my WhatsApp number for any further discussion. And I'm putting a couple of punchlines here to close the message. Like, getting heard is the biggest challenge for any job seeker like me. So if you have felt like taking a look at my profile after reading this message, I am happy that my application is in safe hands. In a way, I am trying to put the onus back on her to seriously consider my application. I hope this was useful. And that's a wrap to our Power Application method. To summarize, do a self-assessment of your profile to job fitment, score yourself against the requirements for the job position, have your resume reflect exactly what is needed for the job and what you want to convey to the recruiter. Validate the completeness of your resume by getting it read out by someone else. Do not apply just in one place. Apply wherever the job ad has been posted. Hunt down the recruiter and drop a personal message. And while dropping a personal message to the recruiter, ensure that your message is short. Make the subject line catchy and stand out from the rest. Establish a connection with the talent recruiter by quenching their thirst of what's in it for me. Have a killer pitch of why you think you are fit for the role, and close out the email with a clear call to action, giving your contact info and requesting them to get back to you with the outcome, even if it is a yes or a no. Trust me, friends, this process has worked wonders for me, and I'm really excited for you to try this out and let me know how this worked for you. So until you watch me in my next video, good luck and God bless.